I want to talk about a low kick, and more specifically, the angle at which that low kick should come, because there are so many people who throw this kick in such a variety of ways, and we're left very often going, what are the pros and cons of each kick, and is there one way in particular that I should be doing it? If you're looking to take your striking skills to the next level, in particular with offense or defense or takedowns, be sure to check out Strike Ready Combat, where you can join my training programs, my courses, and just bump up your striking skills. Now, the low kick. It's very, very common for people to throw in a variety of ways, and it leaves beginners especially wondering, what are the pros and cons of the different style of low kicks? And is there one way in particular I should be low kicking? Now, in my opinion, a lot of this comes down to the way somebody is standing, right? If they're up like this, it gives me that ability to very easily just shoot upwards into their thigh. But if they have more of a low stance, coming upwards doesn't feel quite as good, and getting that drop can be great. But let's look at these two kicks in particular and talk about the pros and cons, and then I'll give you my advice on which one you should be throwing and when. So very first off, the first kick is going to be coming on this direct angle up. This one here is obviously significantly faster. Maybe not in, oh, we take a couple seconds off the kick, because it should already be a short period of time. But if we look at the time it takes to get up and drop down versus just snap straight in, it's very apparent which one of these two kicks is going to be the speedier one. But let's take a quick look at the speed which we can get when we're just standing here and we just snap straight into that bag. It can be quick, it can be very fast, and you don't have to open those hips up and pivot quite as much as normal, because we're just coming this direction. It's when the hip starts to really turn over that that pivot becomes very essential. So you can ask yourself, are you somebody who likes to engage that lower foot in a pivot or not? And if you really don't like those big pivots, then maybe that fast direct kick straight up is the right one for you. But in my experience, obviously when you're coming this direction, all this guy has to do to really mess up your kick is just get this little checkup, and he's going to block it entirely. And even more dangerous is the fact that because you're coming upwards, you can easily slam right into that kneecap. Whereas if you're swooping around and down, this person has to lift way up high to get the check correctly, and it's very unlikely that you're going to catch the knee. So from my own experience, when trying to execute these fast little snappy round kicks, I have definitely paid the price and caught knee a number of times, which leaves that shin very bruised. Now I want to touch on the footwork beforehand on this kick. Whereas our big rounded ones are a little bit easier when we take that initial step to the side, and that could be off a punch combo, right? I'm punching and then I drop to the side. This faster version doesn't require a step, and in my experience is going to slow the whole kick down, which makes it more likely that they're going to check. So you are better off just being stationary and boom, executing right from here. That nice direct line, no step, is my preference when doing this first kick. Now let's talk about the second one, the up and more rounded. Many people, when they're learning, almost over exaggerate it. They lift their knee out to the side and then try and drop, which is very awkward. We are still pushing forward with the hip initially, but then elevating the heel more so. On this one, my heel can stay low. On this other one, my heel is going to come very high. And then I end up even being able to get a downwards drop on this kick if I prefer. You can almost think of it as a question mark kick without this initial raise. On a question mark kick, we rise or raise up with the heel below, and then we do this turn. We just eliminate that first section and get that big rounded drop. Now, as I already mentioned, this one is much easier to avoid clashing on knees, and it can, in my experience, deliver massive amounts of power on the drop down. Which of the two is more powerful? I'd say that's very dependent on the kicker. Some people find this one is super powerful, and I've seen some fighters who seem to generate way more when they do that wrap around and drop. But I think distance and understanding which one is going to be done at further distance is very important. From here just in punch range, this fast, snappy kick is very effective. When I'm a little bit further away, because I'm taking that pre-step, the rounded one, in my experience, can be done from that little bit further. Now, we're not talking 6 or 7 inches. We're talking an extra few inches away. But that sometimes is a massive amount of difference. Now, let's talk about which one of these kicks I think you should be utilizing and when. Because many people are going to be going, well, I just want to know which kick is the priority, which kick is the preference. This is how I utilize them personally, and that's why many of you are here. You want to know my opinion. I'm going to do the fast low kick when I don't do a setup or off a single shot. I'll be standing here, maybe I'll parry, snap right in. Maybe I'll throw a hook, snap right in. I'm going right into the kick because I see that they are exposed. I see that they are heavy on their leg. I see that they're not ready to check. When I have somebody who's light like this, I know just blasting straight up with no good fake is going to lead me to clashing into the shin, which is going to hurt me more than them. So now that is when I'm looking to put in that combination, 2, 3, 4 punches, boom, 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 and then wrap around and get that big explosive smash into the shin, into the thigh. So if I'm going for these fast explosive ones, just boom, they're easy to hit. Boom, that's fine. If they're light, they have that more Muay Thai style, then bam, bam. This for me is what has worked throughout the years, and it's probably what is going to work for you. But there is no exact right or wrong. Some people teach you have to kick like this. Others teach you have to kick like that. Neither is right, neither is wrong. It's all up to you to figure out what works best for you. That's all it comes down to. You build your own striking style off what your body tells you is working. And the best option, in my opinion, is to get both of these kicks down and be able to utilize them in the right moments. Your opponent's like this, you go, yeah, I'm not gonna snap in that fast single low kick. They're a little bit heavier, now, yeah, bang. When they're here, I light them up with lots of punches. They're blocking, they get heavy, and then I swoop through and give them that extra power and smash. Not one of these kicks is going to be significantly more powerful than the other, except for the fact that some people excel at one versus the other. That's the only difference. But to say this kick can deliver this much force and the other kick can deliver this much force, with everybody, no, that's absolutely wrong. But now you have a basic understanding of these two styles of low kicks, and hopefully from there you can start developing your style to include both of them, or at least figure out which one is exactly right for you.